I grew up in a Christian home. My father was a pastor and my mother a biblical counselor. I even remember traveling with my dad on weekends to his different churches that he's planted and watching from the sidelines proudly as he preached to the people of the church. I went to a private Christian school from 3rd grade to 8th grade. But as I graduated from 8th grade, I went to a secular high school. And the more I learned about other worldviews and other people, other worldviews that were different from the one that had been fostered in my previous school, I discovered that I wasn't a Christian at all. I didn't believe in Christianity. I thought that I had seen the most that God had to offer and still been able to walk away. I concluded that I was a proud, moral atheist. I continued to go to church and youth group anyway. I didn't want to disappoint my parents. It wasn't worth the fight to me. But I was sure to remind my friends at youth group that they were doing the easy thing by taking a road of religion that they couldn't even defend or logically explain. In high school, I ran track and field. One of the guys I worked with, his name was Ross. He was a year older than I. We would run relays together. During the off season, we'd practice together, and during the regular season, we would hang out before and after practices and before and after meets. The night before homecoming my sophomore year, my friend was in a car with 3 other guys. They were moving from one party to another, and they were already drunk and high. They were speeding down a street, not knowing that the end of that street was a cul-de-sac. By the time they figured it out, it was too late. They tried to make a sharp turn, but ended up sliding off the road and crashing into a tree, wrapping the car around it. My friend died on impact. He was 17 years old. I couldn't rationally justify why he died when he did. I was crushed. Why did he die so young? What was his purpose? What's my purpose? And could the same thing happen to me? Later that week, I was at the youth group of the church that my family attended. I remember sitting in the basement in the youth room as everybody around me was singing praises to God. The band started playing the song, "Blessed Be Your Name." One of the lyrics to the song is, "You give and take away." My heart twisted. I didn't understand why this God could give and take away as he pleased. It was at that moment that I realized that I wasn't in control of my own life. And if that's true, and what the Bible says is true, then I was a sinner, removed from God, who deserved no more than what I had had my entire life. Complete and utter emptiness. Later that night, when I got home, I laid out on my bed, and I recalled hearing that God reveals himself to us through his word. I set aside all of my religious documents and books and texts and just pulled out my Bible. I cried out to God to reveal himself to me, a broken and empty sinner. It took some time, but as I was reading through the Bible, I stumbled upon a passage in Ephesians where it says that it is by grace through faith that is not of my own doing, but a gift of God. I realized then that I had been trying to understand truth the way that I, a mere boy, could. And here God is saying that he will provide the faith to believe in the grace that he had given me. Even as I called him an insufficient and weak God, he said that my grace is sufficient for you. It was at that moment that I realized that I needed to surrender my independence and my own understanding of truth to even get a little bit of insight into what is the surpassing truth of God. If I follow him, then I can be with him for eternity, without any emptiness. I am Rowan Johnson, and I am second.